Greetings, I'm Fruitnut, and thanks for stopping by. This is a series that takes a look at what DPS the classes of vanilla WoW could do at specific gear levels. We'll be looking at 3 points in vanilla: pre-raid gear, which is gear from dungeons and quests, then gear at the end of BWL progression, and finally, the best in-slot gear for all of vanilla. I do my testing on a private server. This means that the damage you see in this video may not be accurate to what we'll see when Classic releases. I also do not claim to have perfect knowledge of vanilla WoW, so I'll make mistakes. Please let me know when I do, so I can hopefully fix the mistakes in a future video. Check out the description below for some guidelines I follow on my gear sets and more specifics on my general testing for this series. I want to test every DPS spec that was available at the time. For this video, we'll be taking a look at the Enhancement Shaman. Only available to the Horde and mostly known for those big Wind Fury crits, Enhancement Shamans can be great in PvP. But what about their raid DPS? Well, it's time to find out what kind of damage they can do in our 4-minute Patchwerk style test. There are a few talent builds to choose from, and I went with what I expect to be the most common come Classic. Let's take a look at the talents we'll be using for this video. So, right off the bat, I will say that I will be using Storm Strike for this video. I am aware that it leaves a debuff on the boss, and serious raiding guilds will not allow the Shaman to use it because of the limited debuff slots, but for the sake of seeing how much damage an Enhancement Shaman is capable of, we'll be using it for this video. There are other talent builds that forego getting Storm Strike and instead get talents in the Restoration or Elemental tree, but most players will want Storm Strike for solo content and PvP and won't want to pay the gold for respeccing just for a slightly more optimal DPS increase in raids. That being said, I did test some non-Storm Strike builds and found the DPS to be about the same on average, so it's not going to gimp your DPS that much if you decide to spec out of it. Let's take a look at our gear. For picking gear for enhancement, you can either go full on physical damage, focusing on getting strength, agility, and crit chance, or you can try for a more hybrid spec with intellect and spell damage. Unfortunately, hybrid gear isn't really available until later on in Vanilla's lifetime, like the Dungeon Set 2 of 5 Thunders, which isn't available until around AQ, or the AQ40's Stormcaller set. In order to be able to keep your totems up and use your shocks on cooldown for a fight, you might want to invest in some items with intellect. Also, you'll want to gear for at least 5% hit since you get 3% from nature's guidance. And keep in mind, if you are an orc, you can get some extra hit percentage from using a two-handed axe. I ignore racials in my videos, so I won't be focusing on using an axe or using their Blood Fury racial for the DPS portion of this video. For the best in slot gear set, I tested between a full physical set and a hybrid set, and the difference in DPS was minuscule. You had bigger burst with the physical set but lower sustained damage. I chose the hybrid set because it seemed to have better consistent numbers, and was much easier on the mana usage, which is important as your main goal in a fight will be to keep your totems up at all times to buff and support your group. Well, it's time once again to see what kind of damage we can do. Here we go. there we have it. Are you surprised? Disappointed? Our best in slot gear was able to get a bit more than 600 DPS. It's possible to get up to 700 with some good Wind Fury procs, but consistently it'll be about in this range. Now, there are some other talent builds that I came across, and some other gear choices as well that you could choose, including a one-handed hybrid build that could possibly push out better numbers, but I wanted to go with basically the standard Shaman spec. I might revisit this in the future with some other uncommon builds, but for now, this is our result. So, once again, let me know what you thought in the comments below. Did I make a mistake? Please feel free to correct my errors, and if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe for more upcoming content. For our next video, we'll be taking a look at the Feral Druid. Thanks again for stopping by, and I hope you have a wonderful day.